Hey guys, welcome to my little paintbrush. Today we are going to be painting a lantern with fireflies. I'm really excited about this. I've named it Be a Light. And we don't have necessarily a specific thing that you're going to title on this painting and paint, but I left room above it so that you can paint your own words or saying above this lantern. So I'm really excited about this. It's a fun one. Let's get started. We have a couple of brushes here that I'm going to use today. I have a large flat, a medium flat, and a detail brush. If you don't have all of these, it's okay. I just recommend you use a detail and a flat of some sort, okay? Also, a fun thing we're going to use today are Q-tips. So if you have a couple of Q-tips lying around the house, grab those. They are a great tool for fireflies, and we're going to be using them. Or you can use a brush as well. I'll show you both ways, just in case you don't have a Q-tip lying around, right? As we're painting, remember that you can pause the video and take a break or rewind if you missed a step. You don't have to necessarily paint as fast as I am. And just remember, you can pace yourself. Be nice to yourself as you learn, okay? This is all new stuff, new techniques for a lot of us. So let's just enjoy the process together. All right, we're gonna get started. So as you can see, I have my lantern already traced on here. You will too if you get our paint kit. You will have that lantern on your canvas. So that makes it kind of nice. And it's also traced in a marker so that when we're painting over this lightly, you can still see the pattern. I love that, okay? Makes it really easy for us. We're gonna start from the inside of our lantern out, okay? So focus on where you want the light to be. I wanted the light to be centered in my lantern, right? So I'm gonna focus from the inside of my lantern out so that it shows its brightness all around. All right, so this is gonna take a blending technique. Remember how I said to be patient and slow down as you're learning this? Because we all learn at different paces, okay? And this is just supposed to be fun, right? So I want you to grab a large flat brush or a medium, whichever you have, put some white on one corner and turquoise on the other corner, okay? Looks like this. So I've drug my brush, I drug my brush into the turquoise and the white. Now let's find our center. And I'm just gonna take my brush and go in a circle, just like that, okay? Go in a circle. And we're gonna work our way out. You notice I'm keeping my brush shape round. So as I go around, I'm moving my wrist in a circle motion to create that bright center point, okay? We're just gonna work our way out here. Keeping it pretty, I mean, you can decide how light you want it. I wanted it pretty light. So, as you can see, I have a lot more white here on my brush and less turquoise. I really wanted to emphasize that the center of this is white. Okay, and we're just gonna keep going out with our brush. I'm slowly moving away from my lantern. Keep going back to your paint, okay? And as you go, the trick to this is every time you go to your paint, keep it on the corner of your brush. Don't load your whole brush with paint, all right? You wanna just keep it on the corner. All right, looks good. We're just gonna keep moving out. Keep that circle motion. Now I'm going to switch up colors here from my turquoise. Okay, so you can kind of decide how far out you want to go. You can kind of tell I'm switching it up right as I'm entering the top of my lantern. Okay, so I'm switching colors now. I'm going to move to white and phthalo blue, which is very dark. So I'm using a lot more white. I'm not rinsing my brush. Okay, I don't rinse my brush at all throughout this technique. I just blend the colors together. all I'm doing. I just want to keep my colors blending as I move out. So I'm just going to now put that phthalo blue on my brush with white. Keep moving out. Remember to keep your brush in that circle motion. Right? Okay, and it's important as you do this to work pretty quick. The reason you want to work quick is as you blend, your paint dries really fast. Okay, so you don't want it to when you're doing this blend. You want to be able to combine those colors real quick. You want them to go together, blend together. Now I want my corners, the corners of my canvas to be darker, okay? It just really brings in the focus on my lantern. So I'm gonna load a little more blue on my brush as I get to the corner than I did as I was going around my lantern. Just blue there, see, so it's nice and dark. Okay, I want my corners to be darker. There we go. We're just going to keep on moving now. Now as I get away from my lantern, I'm going to let my brush get darker. Oh, that was really dark. I'm going to add more white to that one. Don't want it that dark yet because we want the colors to blend together. There we go. Okay. As I get towards the top, I'm going to get darker and darker with my brush. That way, I have that shade that I really need to draw attention to my lantern. All right. Just going to adjust this real quick. I have a wrinkle in my... There we go. Okay. Okay, now towards the top here, I'm just going to paint it blue. Just so it's nice and dark. And if you get these streaks of white in your painting, it's awesome. Just leave that. Okay. That is totally okay. That's what we want. It brings a lot of light. Okay, as I get to the top, you can wrap the top of your canvas. I'm going to put a little bit of black now on my brush and blend it in with my blue there just at the top. Okay, keeping my brush in that rainbow circle shape motion. All right, good work. Let's rinse our brush now. And this is where we have some fun. So now that my brush is rinsed, I'm going to grab my Q-tips. Okay, and we're going to add these fun fireflies. So grab a Q-tip. I have two colors. I have a turquoise and a yellow going on here with my fireflies. I also have white, but mostly turquoise and yellow. Okay, the white comes a little later. Let's see. Just gonna adjust this a little bit so you can see it a little better. Okay. The beauty of using this paper, you can just move it up pretty easily. All right, so this way it's flat for you and you can see it better. All right, so let's make sure it's nice and dark up here for us. So grab your Q-tip and let's put some white on it. So you're gonna put some white on that Q-tip. And the first thing we wanna do is kind of figure out where you're going to put these fun fireflies. So load your Q-tip up with some white. And let's just randomly place these dots anywhere you like. This just gives us a quick guide to know where you're going to place them, right? Okay, I'm gonna put a couple of them close to my lantern there, and then some coming down as well, down towards the bottom. And I kind of zigzag them. I don't want a specific pattern. while I'm doing this. So you'll notice they're a little bit zigzagged as I go. Okay, there we go. So now that I know where I want them, I'm gonna flip my brush around, or not my brush, sorry, my Q-tip. I'm not using a brush. I'm gonna put some turquoise on it now, and you're gonna wipe it off on your plate in a circle motion, okay? And then go to your dot and just swirl it in a circle, just like that. Okay, and as you do that, your center will should stay white. So you kind of want to keep your center white, all right, and let it fade out. It's kind of supposed to be a quick thing, okay? You're not thinking too much about this. We're just putting these on pretty fast. Okay, some of them are going to be yellow, so we'll kind of keep it random. I'm going to put some blue ones here. Okay. Every time I do this, it's a little bit different, right? There we go. Okay, I'm switching Q-tips now. I'm going to grab yellow and do the exact same thing. So now we're going to go inside here and circle with yellow. The more you add, the brighter it'll be. So if you want to take the time to add a lot of these, go for it. It's a lot of fun to see all the different shades going on there. If you need to add another one, you can. I mean, just use what's on your Q-tip. Just circle around. You can load this up. I mean, there's lots of options here. So you can just keep going and just add more and more to your painting. That is a personal preference. I think I'm going to make this one here yellow instead. Okay. Now these will just show through as you put all your other things in. Okay, just like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we're just gonna let that be. Set your Q-tip aside, and let's load up our medium flat. If you have like a medium flat or a bigger flat, works fine too. Either way, you just want something you can brush up with for the grass. So I'm gonna load it up with some black here. Okay, and we're just gonna start from the bottom of our canvas and brush up. Use the toe of your brush, okay? The toe meaning it's as if your brush is standing on its tippy toes. And you're gonna add this grass. The trick to grass is you don't want a specific pattern, okay? You really want to be kind of loose with your brush and let your grass land wherever it wants. It can go in different directions, right? You can decide on that, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and fill all this in now, right here. And just kind of let that grass go where it wants to go. There we go. Just like that, gives us a good start. I really wanted my corners to be a lot darker, so just make sure if you want. It draws attention to the lantern, and you kind of move your grass in the corners towards your lantern. So as you come up, you just kind of want to start moving your wrist that direction and darken those corners. We're going to come back and add more as we need them. So don't stress it too much, but it gives you an idea. So now we have this shape going on, right? So it's supposed to be dark up here in these corners, right? So you have your dark up here and then dark here. So all the attention goes right to that lantern. Okay, so now I'm going to switch up brushes for a minute. I'm going to use a detail brush. Okay, I'm going to load that up with some black. All right, and we're just going to start adding these fun fun little weeds and plants and other things that are kind of peeking out here. And you can be kind of random about it. They're going, again, in different directions, okay? It's different every time I paint it because my wrist goes where it wants to go. I am facing some towards the lantern, and then I'm going to have others that are facing the opposite direction. So I'll have one here going this way, one that way. Just really gives us some variety here. Okay, just like that. We'll do the same thing over here. We'll have some going that direction. Okay. So don't think too much about it. You just want to give yourself lots of filler over here. All right. There we go. I'm just going to have one coming out this way towards our lantern there. Okay, so 1, 2, this one I think I want a little longer. So you kind of gauge it based on where you want fillers to go, right? Now once you have an idea of where everything's going to be lying there, then you can start adding those fun little leaves just using your brush. So I'm just going to press down just like that. See how I pressed my brush? And as I press, I go in a triangle shape down my stem there, just like that. Okay, so I'll do that again. I'm just going to press my brush as I go. Okay, and the imperfection is what makes it so great. I just love the imperfection of it. So you don't need to worry too much about that perfect shape when you're doing these. You're just going to press with your brush. Some can be longer or bigger, closer together or not, but your wrist can kind of just do it, and that makes it really awesome to quickly put that little detail in. Okay, so now this one here, let's just start shaping this one out, pressing as I go. Some of them I start, as you can see, with that V shape, and there we go. And some of them I put that center leaf in. Totally a matter of preference on that. Okay. See, this one I did a V shape. Almost makes it look a little more like wheat. And you can go as far down as you want on that, right? And then we have this one kind of facing our lantern there, drawing attention to it. So I'm moving pretty quick here. Again, you can pause the video if you need to just take a minute. All right, and then we have this one here. And this one I think I'm going to go all the way down. Just for fun there. Same with this here. The friend over here. Just go all the way down. Just like that. Okay. All right. Just put one here on the edge of your canvas if you want. The more little leaves you do, the more detail your painting has, and it just is a lot of fun to look at. So I'm going to come over here now and do the same thing. I'm just going to quickly add these little leaves to my branches there. And then let's see, I've got one here. Some are short, some are long. But once you get that brush stroke going, you can see how fast it goes in. You don't think too much about it anymore. Just kind of add that triangle stroke. Just like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so let's see. I'm going to put one here. There we go. Maybe a little one. Let's see. Okay, so I want this little one just kind of popping up there next to it. Like I said, it's kind of different every time I do it because it depends on where my brush lands as we go. One right here. There we go. Super fun. Okay, now once you've done this, I like to just fill in some space now. So you can add a little twig here, you know, anywhere you feel like you just want to fill it in. Just some areas here. The more little things you add, the more fun and detail it gives it. So just kind of be free with your brush, see where it goes. You can always go back and add more or take some things away. We're going to add some light here in a minute too. Just like that. There we go. Awesome. Okay, while you have that black on your brush, we're just going to let our grass dry for a second and all of our leaves. And let's go ahead and paint our lantern now. Okay, so first things first, add a little bit of water to your black if you need to, so that it runs or flows smoothly for you. I'm going to go ahead and first add this handle here. Okay, so we're going to go all the way around. You want to try and make it without picking up your brush. If you have enough water in it, usually you can. But it is probably one of the trickiest parts of this painting, is just getting that handle up there. Okay, so we have that. And now we're going to go ahead and add all these little details to our lantern. Like that. And this way you can see it, you know where it's at, and we can add the light to it in just a minute. Remember, it's a painting, not a print, so it's okay if you have little areas that you feel aren't perfectly straight. It gives our painting a lot of character. The imperfections. All right, go around here. The bottom there. I'm just going to do the inside of this. The reason I outline it first is so that my edges are nice and clean when I go back to fill it in. Then I don't have to really take all that time to clean up my edges. But if you want to go for it and just fill it in, do it. All right, so we're going to have to go ahead and do this little area here. And this here. All right, so now we can see our lantern. Now I'm going to make the center nice and bright. So I'm going to grab a small flat and put some yellow on it here. So I really wanted the center to look like it's glowing yellow. Okay, so let's go ahead and paint the circle here yellow. Just like that. Okay, now let's put some yellow on our brush, or not yellow, but white, sorry. Okay, and let's add that white as you're going out. That way it looks like it's really bright and glowing here in the center. Again, going in that circle motion, right? And I kept the white. I want the center to be a lot lighter. Okay. So just make sure you have enough white there in the middle. And as you go out, it just kind of fades out. Awesome. Okay. Let's go back to our outlining. So we're just going to let that be. Now that we have our lantern in place, we can carefully do this outline here. Again, one of the tricky parts of the painting, right? Just getting that lined up just right. There we go. Good work. Okay, we're just gonna let that yellow dry for just a second. And let's paint the inside of our lantern now. So I'm gonna grab a smaller flat brush. Here we go. And just start filling it in. Okay. Pretty basic, right? Just gonna fill it in. We'll highlight it in just a minute to show off all the different parts of this lantern. There we go. Right now we're just gonna make sure everything is filled in. Okay. Let's do the top part here as well. And the side. If you need to slow down, go ahead and do that for these edges. All right. There we go. I'm just going to fill this area in. Keep your brush going up for the grass. There it is. Awesome work. Let's fill this part here. Just slow down sometimes to get these edges just right. Okay, looks so good. Okay, before I rinse my brush now, I'm going to put some white on the corner of it. Okay. Put a little bit of white on the corner of your brush, and let's add that little highlight. You're just going to follow the inside where you know your lantern is glowing. Okay. So the light is facing, the white is facing the light of your lantern. Just like that. All right. A little bit of highlight here and a little bit right here, just like that. Just kind of showing where that light is. All right, now up here we're just going to show that there's a little bit of a line there and right along the top of our lantern. That. Okay. And then I'm going to show you how to do a little dry brushing here. A little bit of dry brushing. So you want to take your brush here, make sure it's wiped off on a napkin. Okay, you want to clean it off a little bit, wipe it on your paper towel. Now I'm going to load it up with some white. Like this, okay? And you're just gonna come in here and we're gonna add that shading to our lantern. So we have that highlight really showing up, and you're just gonna gently press with your brush. And I'm not being super perfect or detailed about where that press is going, okay? You just want it to kind of land where it wants to. That's what makes it a highlight. All right, so don't worry too much about that. And if you feel like you did too much, just go back in and brush in some black right back over it, and it covers it up. Okay, but this really gives it that reflection that we want in our lantern. Just like that. Okay. Just a little bit of light there. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of light around my handle here. One right there, one there, just to draw some attention to it. There we go. Perfect, okay. Let's rinse our brush out. Really good. And I'm going to grab my detail brush again. This time, we are going to add some light here to our grass, okay? So I'm going to put some white on my detail brush. We're going to leave our lantern alone for a minute and just let it dry. Let's put some white on here, and we're going to come over here to our grass and do the same thing you did before, only kind of follow some of your grass lines. And the idea is to have the light closer to the lantern. So whenever you are highlighting your grass here, kind of visualize in your mind where the light is going to be touching from the lantern. And if you feel like you've had too much, you have too much white in there, that's okay. You can just go right back over it with black. Super easy fix. So I'm going to just add a white leaf here. See that? Did the same thing I did with my black. Okay, but I just added those leaves to it. You can kind of find a spot and add those leaves to a stem of white as well. Put as many as you like here. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of light to some of my black leaves. I didn't do all of them, just a couple that I felt might be reflecting the light from the lantern. And it brings a little bit of that brightness to our painting. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go over here and do the same thing. Just add a little bit of light here to some of them that I feel are being hit by the light. And then, let's see, I'm going to put one right here. Just another light leaf there. Let's see, put another one here, kind of hidden, but it really brightens it up right there. Just like that. And then you can add a couple here that are kind of coming up into our lantern. Just like that. Awesome. Okay, you can keep going and keep adding as many as you like. That's totally a preference thing. Okay, so whatever you're feeling there. I'm going to add just a little bit of a twig kind of coming up in here. You can have that grass coming up there. You'll notice you can refer to your picture because every time it'll be a little different. Super cute. Okay, now that we've added all that, let's go ahead and finish up our lantern. I'm going to come over here and add this across here. Comes to the center. You can just go straight across if you want, or you can stop and connect them. There we go. Just kind of curl the sides up with your brush, just like that. There we go. I kind of add a little loop right there to make it look like they twist together. Awesome. All right, let's add some fun light now to our painting to kind of finish it up. I'm going to flip my brush around. First, I'm going to just add some white highlight in here, just some white lines around. You'll notice that it just brightens it up. Then flip your brush around and use the back of it to get yourself that chocolate chip. Let's add some sparkle to our painting. Okay, I'm going to put some of them just inside here. You can go back later and put color over it if you want. But you want to try and be a little bit random in your placement of these, because they're just little fireflies on a summer night. And the harder you press with your brush, the bigger the dot will be. So if you want the dot to kind of fade out, don't press so hard. There we go. Have some of them in here. And I kind of tried to focus on keeping the light inside with our lantern. But you're welcome to bring it all the way out if you'd like. We're going to have some of these just kind of sneaking in here in the grass. So put a couple of dots here, like they're just coming down in the grass with us. And inside your lantern. All right, you can add as many of those as you like. Now, one thing I do like to do here is, if you want, you can put some yellow on the back of your brush and go right over those dots that you've added, and your yellow will be really bright when you do that. So you can pick a couple of your white dots that you want to really stand out and put that yellow over them. You can do the same with your phthalo blue. So if you want to add some more blue, just put that phthalo blue on your brush and go right over your white, just like that. Nice. All right, you guys, you have finished your lantern. Be sure to sign your name. Find a special place for your signature. Good work. We cannot wait to see all of your masterpieces that you have created. And remember, the space right up here up top is open to write anything you like to remind you to shine bright. We'll see you guys later. Bye.